Podcast. I'm here with Max Goldberg, my good friend. This is your second time back on the podcast.
I'm so happy to be back.
Welcome back, buddy. It's good to have you back. How's life?
Thank you. It's great, actually. It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's so different from the last time I was here. So much has happened.
So much
in
has
the last
happened.
3 months, man. It's
true.
Insane.
When were you last back? What do you remember? What?
I think late July. Early August.
Yeah.
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 It's been a very long 3 months.
It's been a long 3 months. It's been a difficult 3 months.
Oh yeah.
Shall we say?
For sure.
The where we are now is not what we expected.
That's true. It is definitely. Every month is a new choice.
But we're here. We're excited. We're hyped to be back. We're all overtired because of online school.
Yeah.
It's a bitch.
Yeah.
Excuse my French. It's a cloudy day today.
It's nice though, because it's been really hot, and it's really nice to have some kind of it's sweater weather.
It's sweater weather. I like
sweaters.
That.
Yeah.
I like my sweaters too. I haven't been able to wear a lot. I also like wearing my sweatpants. I wear the sweaters and the sweatpants. I can't really wear sweatpants when it's 90 degrees out, or 80. What is it, like 80? It's
Yeah,
like 80
it's been
a few
like
days.
high 80s.
Yeah, like that. It's not sweater weather, but it is sweater weather. Sweater? What? That's a tongue twister. Sweater weather now.
Sweater weather. You almost had it.
Sweater weather now. I'm gonna laugh at that in editing. So anyway, it's overcast, which is classic Mill Valley temperature.
Classic.
But it's good to have you back. Speaking of life now, how's school, and what are your plans for next semester? Because the people are dying to know.
So right now I'm supposed to be going to Madrid in the spring, which is really nice. I was supposed to go to Poland this fall. I don't know if I touched on this last time, but of course that got canceled, and so I kind of rerouted, and I'm gonna. As of now, I'm spending next semester studying abroad in Madrid, studying the international political economy. But we'll see if that happens at all. We have
next semester. That's kind of close.
It's
very close.
It's coming up really close, and so far they're sticking with it. They're saying we're still gonna do it.
Wow. I mean, I know people moving around a little bit. Going to different countries. Either I don't know how much for traveling, but for like moving places and stuff, like you can do it. So like you're gonna be living there.
Yeah, for 3 months.
Wow. Right, like Macy just went to Ireland. She's like in Ireland.
I'm supposed to go to Scotland this winter, just for vacation, just to spend some time there, away from, because I've been trapped at home for so long.
So your family's like, we're going to Scotland?
No, just me.
Just you?
I'm just going.
You're pulling a Rocky?
Yeah, I'm pulling a Rocky.
That's cool.
I'm just going for a month, and just gonna hang out there, try to
a whole month.
Detoxify, from all this
bullshit
which has gone on the last few months. I just need a break. But the UK just imposed a new wave of coronavirus lockdown, so it's up in the air.
Right, it's like, feels like another wave's coming back or something, right?
Most definitely.
Jeez. Wait, so when are you planning on, if you were to leave for Scotland, when would you go?
I would go first week of December, and I would come back the first week of January.
Where would you stay?
I found a place in Edinburgh.
Edinburgh.
Right. It's been a while since I looked at the plans, just because I kind of got demoralized after the UK brought back some of those restrictions.
Yeah. Well, that I hear Edinburgh. Is it Edinburgh?
Edinburgh.
Pronunciation is not my thing today. Overtired.
Sweater weather.
But I hear it's a great city.
Me too.
Cool. Yeah.
So, I'm excited for the possibility of going.
I mean, that's things to look forward to. Yeah. Not to get your hopes too much in case everything's crashing down. Unfortunately, that's a terrible way of looking at it. I'm sorry.
At this point in the year, I'm just not expecting anything, because I had gotten my hopes up for so many things this year that never happened.
It's a rough one. But I also want to touch on. Well, first we'll say school. We talked about this outside the podcast.
Yeah, school's okay.
It's okay.
It's nothing special. Online school is not ideal.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Of course.
I do not like spending so many hours sitting at a computer, staring at a screen. It hurts my eyes. I even bought blue light glasses.
Do they work?
They definitely help. It's definitely more beneficial than not using.
Do you recommend them?
Yeah, I do, because
Okay.
I really think that. I mean, we both have dark circles under our eyes.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just from weeks of sitting there.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
It's exhausting.
It's terrible.
It's a lot. But online school, yeah, not ideal.
It's not.
Not ideal. That's cool though, because I honestly didn't know about blue light. I heard they were kind of BS, but if they actually work.
It's mine are. I got them prescribed because I was having
okay.
I was having trouble reading.
Oh
anyway.
right. This is
Right?
This is when you got your glasses.
Right, these are
Yeah.
my glasses.
Okay.
Right,
Okay.
so yeah, they're just reading glasses because I was having trouble focusing
Yeah.
on little words, you know.
Right.
But then when I went in to go get that prescription, they go, "Hey, you want to add a blue light filter for like an extra $50 or something?"
Yeah,
And I was
right.
like, sure.
Well, that I was thinking when I was thinking blue light, I was thinking like the $15 ones on Amazon.
Yeah, I don't know. About
Those
that.
I was like if those really work.
I don't know about that. That's
I was
something-
like if those really work, like that's amazing. You know,
Yeah.
like that would be awesome.
I want to. You know what I want to do? I want to rewatch our first podcast from 3 months ago.
Yeah.
And then watch this one.
Yeah.
And just, I guarantee you, we're gonna have so much more energy and spunk in that first one. Man, it's been a long.
The optimism was too much.
Yeah.
Was on a Now it's not so
Look
much.
at us, dude. Oh.
But I feel like life has its ways of turning things
Life
around.
happens.
Life
Life
happens. Good things happen. Bad things happen. The first time I went to Santa Monica compared to the time when I came back, like I felt like I was a very different person.
Oh yeah.
You know, like just like the time, the year kind of changes.
Remember when we used to be happy?
Remember when you could wake up in the morning with a smile on your face?
Excited for learning.
Excited
Can't
for
wait
life in the
day.
morning.
Yeah.
You get to go. I used to bike to school. Oh, it was annoying biking up the hill, but now I would do that every day. I mean the laziness is there because you're waking up and you're not.
I do my first class because when I signed up for my classes.
Yeah.
Initially thinking they were going to be in person.
Right, you
in New York.
You went over.
I did.
I don't know
went,
if we touched on it in the
yeah,
podcast.
I was supposed to go over. I was supposed to be on campus, and they were doing hybrid format. So half of my classes were in person for they would alternate days in person and days online, and some classes were just completely online. And I wanted to go over. I still wanted to have the college experience, and
totally.
New York State required that people from most states. There were only like 3 states that were not on New York State's watch list. They had to quarantine for 2 weeks in New York if they were returning to college, which I guess is a good idea. It definitely has helped slow the spread within the state. Not to say that there isn't any more spread, because there definitely is.
Yeah.
And halfway through quarantine, UNC shut down, University of North Carolina, because they got a ton of cases. And that is also when fire season started breaking out. And that is also when my dad's mother passed away.
I'm sorry about that.
And his father had passed away just a few months before that. So I just made a decision. I said, I'm going to spend this time with my family. I have the opportunity to study from home. It's a lot cheaper. I don't have to pay for room and board,
That's true.
which is like a killer. I mean,
It's a lot.
it really is a lot. And they also have all these weird fees, like recreation fees for the facilities and stuff.
You're not even going to be able to use the facility.
Well, I don't have to pay it now that I'm
Yeah,
now
no,
that I'm
not-
studying
yeah.
from home, right? So
Right,
that's a
yeah.
plus. But yeah, I decided my biggest decision was to come home and just stay with my family. And I'm glad, because had I been at school in New York while these fires were going on, I would have been terrified, right?
Yeah.
Like I was the year before.
Yeah.
But this year they were so much worse. And
Yeah.
I wanted to come spend time with my family.
That's good.
And
That's
I'm
really
glad
nice.
I did. Obviously, there's stuff I miss.
Right.
You know, I'm FaceTiming my friends back on the East Coast, and they're like, "We miss you," and it makes me cry.
Are there a lot of
Right.
people back there?
Yeah, a lot of people returned to campus.
Oh, interesting.
The majority of people, I would say,
That's interesting.
did, because it was fairly controlled in Upper New York State, and it still is. There haven't been any large outbreaks. They're doing a really good
Even
job.
though there's like a lot of students, that's been good.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they're doing a really.
I know in the beginning it was kind of rough there.
That was really in New York City. You know,
Well, but also at Syracuse there was a few.
there were little pockets.
Yeah.
There were never any major outbreaks, but there were little pockets that
Yeah.
were concerning.
That's good.
Yeah, so I decided to come home and stay with my family.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally unexpected, but glad to have you back, buddy.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here.
USC is in LA.
And you guys are completely online.
Completely online,
Everybody.
except like probably some PhD students or like very limited. It was cool. I was in a lecture, or it was a discussion section, and a kid was walking through. You could see it was USC campus. I was like, oh, that's so nice. I was like, oh, he's walking. Like, I guess he lives there. You know, he just has like people have apartments, you know, outside of campus. I'm sure. Same as Syracuse. But I was like, that's so cool. Like just looking at it, I was like, he's walking by, you know, the red. Is it red brick? I don't know. The buildings, you can recognize them.
I can tell you.
I know. I don't know. I should probably know that. You know, like you can see the buildings. You're like, oh, that's so nice. That's nice. That's the way to go. But hopefully, also USC is not. They're really up in the air because LA. You know.
Oh yeah, you guys don't even know if you're going back next
We don't
semester.
know.
We're doing the exact same thing.
We don't know.
Shortened semester, half in person, half online. We have the same exact thing as this semester.
Yeah, we really. They're trying to keep us up to date, but LA is.
It's up in the air.
It's completely up in the
air.
air.
As is everything.
As is everything right now. Time of uncertainty. I also want to. I have another. We'll transition a little bit. Max, you're such a musician now. You know?
A musician?
You've become a musician. I've noticed this. I just want to touch on this because I think it needs, you know, noticing and honoring. You've gotten really good at guitar.
Thank you.
And you have a great singing voice.
Aww.
Yeah. You know, listening, we recorded like just like for fun.
Yeah.
For the people who don't know, which is most people. We recorded like a little thing.
We sat down and we recorded. We just recorded us jamming.
Yeah, there was no script except one song that we were both like, oh, it would be fun to like mess around and like play it. But we just like recorded like 15 minutes or maybe 20 minutes in total. We just broke it up and looked at it, and I was like, wow, you can really sing, Max. You can really play the guitar.
Thanks, man.
When you're you know, riffing and just improvising, it's great.
You too, dude. You told me you were learning to play piano 4 months ago.
Yeah.
And when we were playing in the garage, and you were doing these amazing riffs, I was blown away. I was. No, seriously.
Yeah. No, I mean...
It's not just like, no, you kind of situation, you know? It was actually really good.
No,
We had time to practice.
I think quarantine has helped with that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Like, what else are you going to do? No, but honestly, I was, like, impressed. I was like, wow. I remember the same thing. We were both learning how to figure this out. And we both started with ukulele.
We did.
We both started with ukulele. I think you got it first.
We got them around the same time. I got it like a week before you did.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, I need to go in too.
Yeah.
So then we both
started jamming
out. Yeah. Played Wagon Wheel.
Wagon Wheel. Classic.
Shout out. I think the first time we did that was at Zoe and Zoe Cowan's.
Yeah, some dinner party we had at the Cowans.
And everyone was so impressed.
And then
someone's mom gave us $1.
Go get your guitar. and you know, if I was somebody else who was forced to listen to people just learning to play their instruments, it's uncomfortable. I don't like watching.
Well, I think the fun of it is trying to have zero pressure, right?
But I mean, if you're the guy at a party who's like playing guitar, and then it's a weird situation.
Is it like a dick move? Would you say?
If you're in the audience or if you're listening, do you pay attention or do you just go on? Right?
Yeah.
If you're the guitar guy, if no one's paying attention, maybe you're annoying people, or if people are paying attention. Whatever. And that's kind of what it felt like. It was me and you playing, and then everyone kind of started watching, and I was like, "What do we do?" I'm like, "Is this annoying you guys?"
We can't tell. I think they were kind of like. The way that it worked is that we made it. That you were making it funny. You were making them laugh. So like you were just like kind of roasting them, I think, a little bit. I don't know. It was something like that, and they were all just like, "Oh, that's a funny one. Let's sing Wagon Wheel now."
Oh wait, yes. So we were playing like 4 chords together because that's all we knew.
Yeah.
Right? And then we would make up the words, and I would rhyme different insults.
Yeah.
And then Mom's like, "Play Wagon Wheel."
And then everybody, we're gonna sing Wagon Wheel.
That was a long time ago.
That was a long
and now
time
we're
ago.
Incredible musicians.
We've moved on so much.
We're recording artists, man.
Yeah, we can play 3 more chords now.
We can play 7 chords in total.
7 chords in total. Maybe a minor we can throw it in there if you really want.
No, it's too advanced.
It's too advanced. But remember a mom, I think it was my mom's good friend, and gave us $1.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was so impressed. I was like, maybe just sitting by yourselves playing music makes you look desperate or something. I don't know.
We had a Halloween costume fundraiser thing last year for Halloween. As part of my major, we did like a fundraiser for UNICEF.
Yeah. And
it was on Halloween, and it was a trick or treat for UNICEF. Or something like that, and we dressed up in costume, and I was Bob Dylan, because my hair looked just like it at the time, and also Bob Dylan was like my professor's favorite artist, so I was kind of a kiss ass, and I was like, look at me, and so it was me and 2 other people sitting at this table, asking people to donate to UNICEF, and I was playing like a song, a Bob Dylan song, and some lady comes over, she's like, are you guys busking? I don't know. Should I give you $1? I'm like, you can give $1 to UNICEF, right? I'm not. That's about where my musical career is taking me.
That's really good. If she thought you were busking, that's like a good thing, right?
I was in the middle of a building at our university, at like a busy hallway.
Oh, was it like a student?
No, it was like professor. She's like, "Are you playing to earn money?" I'm like, "For UNICEF, you help the kids."
Did she end up donating?
She gave us like $1.
Nice.
Yeah. Really? Anything helps.
Anything helps. There
Donate
you go.
to UNICEF.
Donate to UNICEF.
Yeah. Great.
It's a great organization.
Great.
They operate in 196 countries worldwide. They donate $150 million to
Right.
UNICEF.
And there's only 194 member states of the UN, so that means they operate in 2 countries that aren't even a part.
It's
aren't
incredible.
even giving them any money.
They help with education.
They're great. Yeah.
There's actually 6 new collection boxes this season.
Wow.
You can also do a create your own character contest.
Oh man.
You should really get into it, guys. Check it out. How do I know this off the top of my head,
It's a UNICEF plug.
How do I know this? Because I had to do a press release for Trick or Treat for UNICEF for my PR class.
Nice.
Yeah. Really applicable. They should sponsor me. No, they should. We should donate.
We should
donate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sponsored by UNICEF. The Kerner Report.
I'd rather just donate it. I don't know. I feel bad if they paid me money for anything.
Yeah.
Because it goes to help children.
Yeah, in these unprecedented times.
It's for real
support
though. Honestly, you should support
people.
UNICEF.
Yeah.
Definitely. Go out there and support UNICEF.
I donate to UNICEF.
Yeah.
I'm on like monthly.
Oh really?
It's like $5 a month or something. Yeah.
Support that.
Absolutely.
100%. Okay. Also, are there any fun things that you're just into now? Like that's part of the thing I've noticed. That's part of the things I've noticed.
Yeah.
When my example of coming back from Santa Monica, because from the time I was there, like I had completely different interests as well.
Yeah.
And like doing like this section of time, at home, in college, I feel like we've developed other interests, like different interests. Have you noticed that?
I feel there's only really 2 new things I've gotten into.
Yeah.
I started learning Russian.
Right.
Yeah. I started practicing my Russian. What?
Isn't it? Ruski. Yeah. I can't.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm in the early phases, right? So I'm learning the alphabet, which is super hard.
It's not the Latin alphabet.
I know English and Spanish, right? I'm fluent in both. But the alphabet's the same. Learning a language with a completely different alphabet is crazy.
It's difficult.
So and then I also got into fighting, like MMA. Not that I'm.
Oh.
It's doing MMA, right?
Oh,
I got a punching bag,
nice.
and that's about it. But also
Nice.
I've started watching MMA.
Nice. Who do you follow on MMA?
Yeah. Well, so today actually, right after this, I'm gonna go watch the Khabib Nurmagomedov.
Is he fighting?
Fight. Yeah. He's
Wait, who's he
today.
fighting?
Justin Gaethje.
Genji, right?
Gaethje.
Is it Genji? I thought it was Genji. It
It's
could be
Gaethje. Pronounce it how you want to pronounce it.
Yeah. Who do you think's gonna win?
Khabib.
Khabib. Yeah. I mean, that was a stupid question.
I watched him fight Conor McGregor
Yeah,
3 years ago.
Me too.
Live, and that was crazy.
Conor
that's
held
kinda
his
what
own.
started it.
He held his own for a little bit, but
Barely.
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 I think, okay, I'm ashamed to admit this now, but in the Conor McGregor Floyd Mayweather fight, I was like, Conor's gonna pull a big upset. He's gonna pull a big upset.
I really wanted Conor to
I wanted
Floyd.
him to because Floyd's a little dick.
Floyd's such an asshole.
Such an asshole
I mean,
sometimes. He works really hard. He does all this good work.
Yeah, sure. They
But he's a little-
They all work hard.
But I really wanted him. I was like, pull the upset. He's a lefty. He's not used to it. Floyd's was the best in the world. Still holds his own. Of course.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense that he won, and I was sad. But going into the Khabib Conor fight, I was like, yeah, Connor, you're not ready for this one, buddy.
What a weird. That was. I didn't know who to root for in that situation.
Yeah.
Because Connor is such an asshole to Khabib.
Yeah.
He was insulting like Islam and Russians.
Yeah.
And then Khabib was like, "Fine, if you're gonna do that, I'm gonna." And then he's like, "Russians are 180 million of us, and there's only like 3 million Irish. So who's gonna win in a war?"
Who is the nukes, man? Yeah.
I thought this was a UFC fight, right? But I mean, it got intense.
Well, they were. Did you see the interview with Khabib now when they're like, "What do you think about doing a rematch?"
He's like, "I don't want to talk."
He's like, "I don't want to talk about it." He's like, "He's a little bitch. I don't want to talk about it." Yeah, that sounds like Austrian. I don't know.
So I did a research paper. Now, Khabib is from Dagestan.
In Czech,
right? Which is, Dagestan's a republic in Russia. So the Russian Federation is the official name of what we call Russia.
Yeah.
And it's composed of 22 different little republics, the biggest of which is like actual Russia.
Oh,
right?
so Russia is a republic within Russia.
Right.
Interesting.
I wrote a whole paper on this like 3 weeks ago,
Yeah.
specifically about Chechnya and conflict in Chechnya, right? That whole region of the Caucasus, Dagestan, Chechnya, Ossetia, right? There's one more, and I'm blanking on the name. But the point is, that's their national sport, is MMA, mixed martial arts. They are insane about it. I mean, they are the toughest people on the planet, I swear to God, right? The leader of Chechnya, Ramzan Kadyrov, promotes the sport actively. He holds competitions. He has his own training academy. It's like a cult of personality kind of thing. It's a huge thing there, right? So Khabib is bred to fight other people, as is anyone, basically any young
Chechnya.
Male coming out of Chechnya or Dagestan. It's crazy.
Well, also, I think it's interesting. What's the religious affiliation? Is it Muslim?
It's Muslim.
Yeah. That's interesting for Russia as well.
Right, and that's the things. That's what I wrote about, is conflict between that area, the Northern Caucasus, against the Russian Empire in the early 1900s and modern Russia today. And then Chechnya fought a war with Russia in 1994 up until 2001.
And is Putin okay with it now? Like,
well, him and the leader of Chechnya, Ramzan Kadyrov, are best buddies. Right now.
That's what I was
Doesn't
thinking.
mean the people are. There's still obviously some. I mean, they've been fighting forever. The people.
Yeah.
And it's not just Islam versus Russian Orthodox Church.
Yeah.
There's so many complicated factors.
But is there a Russian Orthodox Church?
Yes, that's the primary religion in Russia, is Orthodox Christianity, Russian Orthodox
Christianity. This is a good question for you. Yeah, I thought communism is very, from my understanding, very, religion is the opium of the masses.
Yeah, so I don't know so much about the Soviet Union as I do modern Russia.
Right.
But the leaders of the Russian Orthodox Church, as you were saying, religion wasn't a thing in the Soviet Union.
When you
The 1917, right, October Revolution.
Yeah.
The people were revolting against the controlling forces.
Right.
That was the Tsar and the Church.
Right.
And
okay.
So, right.
Yeah.
And then of course, I guess it just went away for a little while. And then of course, when the Soviet Union left, it came back.
That's so interesting.
I guess I'm not an expert on it though.
I feel like that's a really interesting dichotomy.
Google.
It's an interesting dichotomy between
How it flip-flops like
how
that.
it flip-flops, but also how there's like a Muslim population and a Christian population.
Well, so just because I just wrote this paper, so it's fresh on my mind.
Sure.
The Chechen people were subject to genocide during Stalin's rule. He sent them to Siberia, right, along with a bunch of other ethnic and religious minorities, because they were a different ethnicity or a different religion, or because they were practicing religion at all. And part of that was because Chechnya is devoutly Muslim. Stalin sent them all away to go die, to go build railroads in the freezing tundra of Siberia.
It's crazy how much empty space is in Russia.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I mean, think about how big the United States is.
Yeah.
Just how massive of a country we are.
It's pretty massive.
Right? And then, but there's a good population distribution for most of the country, right?
Yeah.
Usually you'll find people.
There's not a lot of empty wilderness per se.
In Russia, you have all the whole population is concentrated on the border of Europe, right? Of Western Europe. So Finland, Belarus, Estonia, Lithuania, Latvia, Ukraine, that whole area. That's where Moscow and St. Petersburg are.
Yeah.
And then you have a city, which I can't pronounce the name of, on the far side, right above Beijing.
Does it begin with a K?
I completely forgot.
It's one of those
right?
Russian names.
And then in between, there really isn't, especially further up north.
Yeah.
There's really just not.
Well, didn't they launch a huge nuke?
I'm sure they did.
I remember hearing about they launched. I think they called it the Tsar bomb.
The Tsar bomb.
Yeah.
I've heard of that.
Yeah. In the Russian wilderness.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy. but anyway, so were you talking about a little bit more about the religious minorities, how they were in the wilderness?
Sure. So the Chechen Muslim people fought for the Red Army after the Soviet Union took over Chechnya. They did. But for whatever reason, because of historical prejudice and stereotypes, they were declared as Nazi sympathizers during World War II. And I guess Stalin saw that as a threat. He accused them of having dual loyalties, but they wouldn't fight for the Soviet Union, even though some of the most decorated Red Army members are Chechens. And he just ordered the mass deportation of them and sent them to labor camps. And it wasn't until Nikita Khrushchev, Stalin's successor, came into power, where he implemented perestroika, right? I'm butchering the pronunciation, but just reform policies.
Yeah.
And that's when he told the Chechen people, hey, come on back. Come back to your land. And then, of course, the Chechens come back, and that area is full of Russians now. It was 95% Chechen before they got deported to Siberia. And then when they came back, of course, their population is, half of Chechen people died in these labor camps.
Jeez, man.
When they came back, of course, the area is now like 65% Russian ethnically, because they just moved in. And there were people living in their old homes, and that fueled the tensions that eventually led up to the Chechen separatist movements and the war in 1994. And then that first Chechen war went from 1994 to 1996. Boris Yeltsin was the Russian prime minister at the time. This is after the fall of the Soviet Union. Yeah. Right? And it was because of that loss of power over all these little republics that you had a bunch of civil wars all over the place, right? And Chechnya was no exception. So they're like, hey, Russia, the Soviet Union collapsed, we declare our independence. And Boris Yeltsin said, well, you were never independent. We never conquered you. You were always part of Russia. Right? And so then they invaded Chechnya. And then in 1996, after the ceasefire, right, because Russian forces were humiliated at the hands of the Chechen fighters. Like I was saying, they're the toughest people on the planet.
Just run after them and hand-to-hand
beat a Chechen,
combat.
right? Then eventually a lot of extremist groups began to manifest in Chechnya, and they started attacking civilians across Russia. There was, they seized the Moscow theater, which is super famous, right? And then Putin came to power, and Putin was like, this isn't even a civil war, this is Islamic extremism, this is terrorism, right? And this was circa 2000, 2001, post 9/11. The Bush administration is like, hey, we want to fight Islamic terrorism across the entire world, so they cut Russia a check, they supported him, and Putin invaded Chechnya in 2001.
Wow.
As of now, it is a autonomous Russian republic, but it has very close ties to the Kremlin.
I feel like this is a part of history, like, I know nothing about.
Right, and I only know about it because I chose to write a paper on it. Yeah. I knew nothing about it before.
Yeah.
I'm sure if you told me to write a paper about Sri Lanka tomorrow, I then I would know more about it than I do now. I barely know anything about Sri Lanka.
Yeah.
I know about a little ethnic conflict there, but it's a huge world.
This is the big thing we talk about in our American War and Vietnam classes. It's like there's so many perceptions, there's so many, we call them marginal perspectives, that we just don't know as Americans. And it's not expected for us to know. We just don't know.
Right. I think Americans are too hard on ourselves sometimes when we I get that a lot of people are dumb, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people are really stupid.
A lot of people are stupid.
But everyone knows what they know, and then they can learn about something, and then they know that, but that doesn't mean they know everything.
Yeah.
So these, sometimes you watch these Jimmy Kimmel skits. The pedestrian question, where he goes and he asks these people questions, and some of them to us, I guess, seem super obvious.
Yeah.
Right? And you're like, how can they be that stupid?
They're so fucking
right?
dumb.
Some people just don't know.
Yeah.
Their focus
they'd rather
be on a different subject.
They'd rather make up an answer than say they don't know.
Right, and I'm not afraid to admit I don't know anything.
Yeah, I think we all.
Sometimes I feel really stupid.
Yeah.
And it sucks. It doesn't feel good to feel stupid, but that just means I have somewhere to improve on.
It's so much better to say we don't know than to just bullshit and lie.
And I don't know a lot, and it feels like crap.
Yeah.
So, right? When
I want to know more.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, speaking of international things, I want to jump in on this. This is something I want to talk to you about.
Yeah. Did you get like a super cool?
No. I just want to talk about where people are listening to the podcast.
Oh, yeah.
It's really interesting.
You have international listeners.
I have a lot of international listeners. Or not a lot, but I have a weird distribution.
Oh.
So, shout out to all the people listening outside of the U.S. You guys are awesome. U.S. makes up... How much do you think the U.S. makes up from the podcast listening?
60%.
Okay, more than that.
75%.
84%.
Okay.
So the vast majority are from the U.S. Understandable.
I didn't know how many listeners you had. If you have like 3 listeners and one of them is from a different country, that'd be a huge...
Yeah. More than 3.
Sorry.
No, you're good. So 67% are from California. We can see where in the U.S. they're from, too. 42% from Mill Valley, 25% from Santa Monica, Los Angeles, this surrounding area.
Right.
And are you good with that?
Yeah, let me go check that.
Yeah, go for it. But the point is, the majority of people in the U.S. are from this area in L.A. Mm-hmm. Sorry, from California.
Right. And then internationally.
But also, I want to say, in the U.S., 18% are listening from Texas.
Who do you know in Texas?
People in Texas. But this is amazing, and 100% of them are from Dallas. So we have a population of people in Dallas.
Sweet.
Shout out to you guys.
I have some friends in Dallas.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe it's your friend.
Shout out to Marshall.
Marshall.
And Sam.
And Sam.
Yeah.
Are you guys listening? What's up, guys?
I don't know how they would have found this podcast.
If they are, that's great. Some people in Washington, Massachusetts, Florida, Georgia, Tennessee, Colorado, guys. Shout out to you guys. That's awesome. Let's see. Also, so outside of the U.S., 4% are from the U.K.
Okay.
2% are from the Netherlands, and then 1% is from Australia, Germany, and Norway. Wow, right?
I bet you the UK was Zoe.
Yeah.
Right? And then the Netherlands, possibly Andrew?
Farron,
yeah.
We're figuring this out. Australia?
Well, I got cousins in Australia. I don't know.
I have cousins in Australia as well.
Oh my God.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that. And then very small amounts, less than 1%.
Norway. Who do I don't know anyone in
Norway, no idea. But less than 1% are in Spain, Portugal, Indonesia, Canada, UAE, Colombia, Ireland, Brazil, Taiwan, and France.
That's crazy.
It is crazy.
It's like one person in each.
Yeah.
Who do you know in Indonesia?
I don't know anyone in Indonesia, but that's awesome. And what's up, guys? Thanks so much for listening.
Talk about an extremely, for Americans, an extremely undercovered, I mean, like by the media, country, Indonesia.
Yeah.
It's top 5 most populous countries, and in America we hear nothing about it.
I know nothing
except
about
for when someone gets like caned for having an affair, right? But there's so much going on in Indonesia that we don't hear about.
Southeast Asia in general is kind of blind to us. We don't know. But anyway, so I just wanted to shout you guys out. I think that's awesome. I get super hyped when I see all these people outside of the U.S. I think that's great.
Hi guys. Especially the guy from Indonesia.
What's up?
How are you?
How are you? I know you can't respond back, but hope you're having a great day over there. Yeah. Also, transitioning again, Borat. I want to talk about that because he's coming out with a new movie, and you just said
subsequent movie film.
And you just said you listened to the first one. I
watched the first one for the first time last night.
What'd you think?
It's hilarious. I've watched all of Sacha Baron Cohen's other movies, The Dictator, Bruno.
Yeah. I haven't seen.
That's it. But
I haven't seen Dictator. I've seen so many clips of it.
I've even watched him in like a serious role. It was called The Spy. Oh, Hugo.
Have you seen him in Hugo?
I haven't seen Hugo.
Oh, you should watch Hugo.
Really?
It's great.
Is that based on the book?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
My brother read the book. Yeah.
It's a great book.
The Spy was the series I watched on Netflix where it's like a serious actor. It's okay. It's alright. But yeah, it was ridiculously funny.
Yeah.
It was so
He's good.
funny.
But have you noticed that he's been around like also I just want to touch on this since we're talking about international. He's ruined Kazakhstan.
Yes.
People
I looked into
pissed
this.
off.
Yeah. Since he made the movie, I'm pretty sure he has been banned from Kazakhstan.
Yeah.
But not only that, the Kazakhstani foreign minister published an official statement after the movie was completed, and then they were like angry at him.
Yeah.
And there have been cases at like major sporting events across the world where a Kazakhstani athlete wins or gets on the podium, and while they're playing the national anthem, they play the song that they play at the end of Borat instead of the actual national anthem of Kazakhstan,
terrible.
which is terrible.
That's terrible. That's, oh man, I feel so bad for these guys. Well, the thing that
I'm supposed to go to Kazakhstan this coming summer.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's part of your trip?
Well, it's for a program, and I have yet to be accepted, so I'm not supposed to go. I'm hoping
you could go.
I could go.
Yeah, that's awesome. But I want to say in relation to Borat, like when he went to Kazakhstan, to film, right? And
you mean in the beginning of the movie?
Yeah.
That was filmed in Romania.
Or he went to Romania. I'm not fully caught up on the facts. Correct me if I'm wrong. Don't want to spread misinformation too much. So we went to Romania.
Said it was Kazakhstan.
Shot all this stuff with real people.
Right.
Didn't speak
He's
English.
my sister.
She's my sister. She's the number one prostitute all of Kazakhstan, right?
Exactly.
That stuff. They don't speak English. They don't know what he's doing. The translators didn't portray what was going on in the scenes.
Yeah.
So now, people watch the movie back in Romania and wherever, in that area, and they see, oh my God, I'm called a rapist, or oh my God, I'm called a prostitute.
Nothing, right?
Yeah, nothing. It's
terrible,
but
it's so
it's
unfunny.
It's funny, but it's also so not funny once you hear like these people's lives are ruined, and now they won't let any film crews come back.
Yeah.
They just don't want any film crews. They say, get the fuck out of my town. I don't want to be called a rapist again for no reason.
It's terrible.
It's terrible, and Sasha doesn't give a fuck. I think he feels bad, but at the
Poor
same
people, man.
Ah, man, I feel bad for them. So they hate him.
But those are some of the best scenes in the movie. And it's awful. But those are some of the funniest scenes in the whole movie. Put yourself in that situation.
Yeah.
Right? It's gotta suck.
It's just like getting roasted internationally, millions of people laughing at you for something. I mean, I feel like they knew what they were doing. It'd be different, but they just didn't know.
The whole movie, the whole premise of the movie is messing with random people.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff it's like deserved, right? And I heard in the new movie he messes with Rudy Giuliani.
I saw the clip from that.
You're right.
Yeah.
We saw the stills. It's all over the news.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's funny going after like politicians like that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Right? In some of the scenes in Borat where he's like talking to the he's at like some family's house who's invited him to dinner.
Yeah.
Right? And then he's like carrying a bag of shit around.
Yeah.
He's like, where do I put this? That makes me so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It's funny.
It's
but
funny.
Put yourself in that situation.
He's a true. He doesn't shy away from potentially getting claimed.
Or he messes around with that one scene. So Borat was supposed to be released in like the months after 9/11.
Okay.
But it got pushed back for obvious reasons. And while he's filming the movie, there's a scene where he's somewhere in Texas, and he goes to a rodeo and he sings the national anthem, but it's not right.
Yeah.
It's famous. The clip's famous.
Yeah.
And the guy he's talking to before, who runs the rodeo, is insane. I mean, the language coming out of his mouth.
Oh.
Right?
Yeah.
It's ridiculously like Islamophobic and racist. And that's funny to see Borat picking at those kinds of people.
Yeah.
Right? And that's like, this is really funny.
It's good.
And then he goes up to a random person and he's like, may I have sex with your daughter? And that's...
Yeah. He's pushing the boundaries.
Yeah, he pushes the boundaries, but it's
I think it's really genius the way he does it.
Yeah.
But at the same time...
Genius.
He pushes it.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the last scene in Bruno.
Okay.
The wrestling scene.
Dude.
That was genius, okay. Did you hear about how... I mean, you probably heard on YouTube how he set that up.
No.
Where he had to get an Indian attorney from India.
Yeah.
They just picked an Indian attorney. He could have chosen a U.S. one, but he wanted an Indian one, apparently because it's cheaper.
Yeah.
And he's like, what? And the voice, I can't do the voice, but the voice of the Indian attorney was his inspiration for Julian. Fun fact, from Madagascar, is what he said. But he talks to his attorney, and he goes, what can we do? Because it could start a riot.
How can we get completely nude?
Well, how could we instigate a riot without instigating a riot? Right? Because you're in the boxing ring.
Right. And then he just like starts like basically having sex with this guy.
And what can you do legally in that situation? What can you, like, honestly touch and stuff? And he's like, you cannot touch the taint of the mother man. You know, like, and tells him all the little things that he has to do, and they planned out an escape tunnel so that, because there's no way he's going to get out of the ring.
Right, because all the crazy racist people are surrounding him, right?
They're throwing chairs at him, they're throwing beer, they're throwing all this stuff, you know, probably other dangerous things.
Yeah.
So they built a tunnel under the ring and had a car prepped for him and the guy, and they snuck out under the ring so that they wouldn't die.
In the first movie, when he wrestles with his producer, the other actor in the movie, Azamat, right?
Yeah.
Who's hilarious, right? He runs around the entire hotel butt naked. Him and Azamat.
Yeah.
Completely naked. I'm wondering, how legally can you do that? How do you, in public? How do you can't just say like, oh, I was exposing myself in public for the sake of a movie. How do you get away with that?
They have good legal people.
That's crazy, man.
I guess.
I mean, then they break into this convention that's happening.
Yeah. Well, I think that Pamela Anderson was probably.
She was in on it. She had to be in on it. I don't know for sure, but there's no way she wasn't. There's no way she wasn't in on it. And if she, props to her, if she's in on it, dude, that's hilarious.
She sold it.
Yeah.
But anyway,
go watch Borat.
Yeah, go watch.
If you haven't seen it,
go watch Borat and the new one coming out.
If you're one of the like 2 people who hasn't seen it,
he's been all around TikTok. I've noticed. Have you noticed that?
Nope, I don't have a TikTok.
I thought you did. I thought you were watching.
I had one for a little while, for like a week. And then I said, I don't want to.
But he's like with like David Dobrik now, and he's with all these different like TikTokers and YouTubers.
Who's
like
David Dobrik?
Is there no David Dobrik?
No, I don't.
Oh boy. Wait, for real?
Yeah, I'm serious.
Oh wow.
Wait,
he's the Tesla dude.
Oh, he's the Tesla guy.
Tesla dude.
Yeah, I don't.
You don't follow him?
No.
Anyway, so he's like on stuff like that, like putting TikToks together with David, bunch of different people, like raising awareness for film. You know, it's great. But that was funny.
Cool.
Anyway, Borat. All right, a few quick things to wrap it up. Go follow the Kerner Report podcast YouTube channel for full episodes and TTR podcast clips for clips and highlights. If you have any questions for me or comments about any segments you'd like to see on the show, any guests you want back for another episode or stuff like that, go to anchor.fm/the Kerner Report. No caps, no spaces. To send me an audio message.
Or send me an audio message.
Yeah,
ask me a question.
Yeah, I'll send them over to Max as well. Also, go to teespring.com/shop/TK Report for the Kerner Report Essentials merch drop. We have some great stuff on there, so go grab some merch and support the podcast. Also, big news for next episode of the Kerner Report podcast. We are doing a live on-air merch giveaway. If you call first, you can get a Kerner Report podcast t-shirt. Medium size. Shipping is on us. We will ship it to anywhere within the United States. Sorry for the international listeners.
Who's a medium?
A medium shirt?
Yeah, but you're not a medium.
No, it's for someone else.
No.
It's a podcast giveaway.
Why don't you do like a larger size?
No, but the media.
You better call in to that giveaway, guys. Yeah.
On my Instagram, I'll let you know how it works, how to call in the show, and how to win. It's super fun and super easy. We're trying it out. Let's see how it goes. New episodes are up every single Saturday. So stay tuned. Max, thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for that.
It's been fun.